What's up, y'all? Today, I'm going to be reading a little portion of this book called Pigs in the Parlor. It's about spiritual deliverance and basically just like protecting your mental and physical state, especially with everything going on in the world. I'm actually further along than what I'm going to read to y'all. I'm around chapter 15, but chapter 5 is like the most important chapter to me. Maybe I could have started from the beginning, but chapter 5 is speaking on how demons enter. So it really, okay, I'll just get straight into it. I ain't gonna waste no time. Then I'll give my thoughts afterwards or whatever. So when demons enter your body, this is how they enter. Demons are evil personalities. They are spirit beings. They are the enemies of God and man. Their objective in human beings are to tempt us, deceive, accuse, condemn, pressure, defile, resist, oppose, control, steal, afflict, kill, and destroy us. Demons enter through open doors. They have to be given an opportunity. There must be an opening. In other words, one does not pick up a demon by walking down the street and accidentally bumping into one that is looking for a home. The organization of Satan's kingdom enables him to attack each one of us personally. There is not a person on the face of earth who escapes his notice. He devises a plan to ruin and destroy each one. It is a sobering realization that you and I are definite targets of Satan's wiles, but how does he gain entrance? So with this short little portion, and maybe I'll read a little bit more if I run out of things to say, it basically just speak on like, bro, we got to be careful what we allow into our life, because that's exactly how the demons enter, how the sin enters into us, through the things we love, through the things we like, through people we love and like. That's why you got to be careful with what you feed your mind, and be careful what energy you're feeding yourself by being around. You can't be being around people. That's why they say it's always the company you keep. You can't be around people who constantly doing the wrong things and think that you're not going to do it as well. If you're around 3 killers, you're going to be the 4th one. If you're around 3 scammers, you're going to be the 4th one. If you're around 3 people who love giving back and building a community and building their own body, they go to the gym, they eat healthy, you're going to be the 4th one to do those exact things. Judge a person by their fruit, and you will know whether you need to be around them or not, y'all. That tell you everything you need to know. Like, as far as sin, when they listed off the things that are the objectives of demon entering, or demons when they do enter, they spoke on, they want to tempt us, temptation, lust. Most of the time it's lust, and lust isn't always just sexual. Sometimes it could be money. We could lust over money. We could lust over just material things. And, we all have a little bit of it in us, because we want things. But to kill the flesh is to remove any want for anything externally, because knowing we got everything in here, y'all. And that's what I'm working on within myself. I told y'all this channel is going to be kind of like a journal for me, reflecting on where I am in my life. I'm not really trying to come from a place of teaching, but I'm trying to come from a place of realization in what chapter I am in at the time. So it said to tempt us, deceive us. We could be led into doing things by just being deceived. It could be somebody instigating a situation where you probably didn't see it a certain way during an altercation or disagreement. Then somebody that was with you might say, you gonna let them disrespect you like that? So now your pride is high. Now you got something to prove. And over time, or during the time you might go over to confront them, that might cause a fight. A weapon get pulled out, somebody dead or in jail now, just off of that. And that's how you got deceived into doing something you didn't want to do, or you didn't mean to do. But it was the demon, somebody else, influencing your life decisions. Also it spoke on accusations, condemning, pressure. Pressure is a big one. Like, it's been so much pressure put on everything we do in today's society because we all want to be great. We all want to be successful. Yet with that pressure comes low self-worth when you aren't getting achievements. Like, everything has an achievement on it now, and they set that up that exact way for a reason. Because if we can't find inner peace within ourselves and we rely on external validation, we never gonna be good with ourselves. And if we not comfortable in our own skin, what would make us ever want to stand for or against anything that's going wrong in the world? We rely on other people for everything when all we need is God. That's it, man. It also speaks on controlling, stealing, killing, and destroying. All these things, for the most part, is just mental, and the next chapter, I ain't gonna speak too heavy on that because I'll read that in a different video. The next chapter speaks on when all these demons enter, First off, the way they say to not allow these demons to enter is to stay in the word. When you in the word of the Lord, and honestly, I'm gonna try to get me an Ethiopian Bible when I do get some money or whatever. If you stay in the word of the Lord, you will not be deceived by things of this world, because Satan and evil is in higher places, and the way they manipulate and twist things, honestly, it be so that in a way they make you do things and they make you think it's of the Lord because they twisted it a little bit, they tweaked it, and they'll feed our ego and tell us that we so high and mighty and don't need things, while also telling us we worthless and garbage. It's so confusing, and it causes division. But when you in that word, you really know. That's how you get rid of and maintain separation from these demons. But I'm gonna read a little bit longer. Further along with the book. They start with this little verse from the Bible that says, Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and keep back part of the price of the land? And afterwards it said, because of their sin, Ananias and Sapphira opened themselves to be filled with spirits of covetousness, lying, and deceit. The same thing can happen to anyone who sins willfully. So especially when you know what you're doing, you don't go backwards, retract. And I know it could be uncomfortable just walking in the word and the way of the Lord, because it separates you from everybody and everything on this planet. We've been conditioned so heavily, y'all, to live the way that the devils and the demons and everybody at the top want us to live. But what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And actually, let me correct that. What's wrong is right and what's right is wrong. They flipped it. You get called lame for doing the right thing. You get called weak for... Y'all know how that go. I don't gotta go into that, but up is down and down is up for real. They went on to speak in this chapter about the 17 works of the flesh, and they include sins of adultery, fornication, witchcraft, hatred. Man, these first few already is showing, okay, after hatred it said wrath, strife, envying, murder, and drunkenness. All of these things are of the flesh. And I understand, I question it, and I don't say that I'm fully against or in support, because I'm really just trying to figure the world out as I go. You got to be open-minded. I'm trying to see if there's any relation to astrology, chakras, and religion where it could be centered in the middle. Maybe things got divided because they didn't want us to know certain things, but I really don't know, and they all are similar in some kind of way. But I spoke on those things because with like chakras and stuff, it speaks on when you reach your crown chakra and your third eye chakra. I don't know which one is higher. I believe the crown is higher than the third. Yeah, the third eye here, crown up here. When you make it to that level of awareness and awakeness, as they speak on it, you know, you see things from a different view, a different plane. Like they speak on how things are in the 3D, but then it's a 4D. And I guess that's where the demons are as far as religion is concerned. So when you start to see things past the 3D in the flesh, in the skin, where we are right now, and you actually, excuse me, and you realize that we not really wrestling in the flesh, but we going against things that influence us on a daily basis, from the music to the TV. That's when your eyes open and you don't fall into these things such as envying, murder, and drunkenness. I was drinking, I mean, like growing up or anything. I didn't have my first drink till I was 20. I'm 22 right now. But last year, I did drink. I probably had something to drink 10 times or maybe a little bit over that, you know, and I'm living life and I'm experiencing things as I go, and I'm not gonna be perfect on my walk, you know. And for me not to do it, and for people to know how strong-willed I am to not lean into things, you still do have to go through things sometimes just to recenter yourself, to be like, you know what, I'm not doing that. That's not for me. I'm not like everybody else, you know what I'm saying? But I can't fall into nothing that I see ain't doing nothing for me. You know, it's not bringing me nothing. It's not fulfilling me. What fulfills me is stillness, honestly. And that's what I'm getting into. I do recommend meditation. I have not been meditating, so, you know, honestly, after this video, I get back to the crib, I'm definitely gonna be meditating. But yeah, man, I think honestly that's all I have for today as far as this chapter of the book Pigs in the Parlor is concerned. But y'all, make sure y'all protect y'all mind, protect y'all body, protect y'all heart. Above all else, protect your heart and protect your energy. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one, man.